Welcome to your Twisted Tea best post show ever. I had to grab a Twisted Tea and get over here. Haiden Deegan just completed a absolutely ridiculous burnout. Is he going to give us more burnout? So Haiden Deegan has won $500,000. Jason Weigandt and Kellen Brauer here. We ran from Twisted Tea to this. Duff's pushing the bike back, I guess, to get in position for more burnout. Anyway, I feel like this SMX thing, and they put the whole shot device on. That's a smart move. There we go. This is proof positive. The SMX thing worked. It meant something. That was the whole situation when it started. We've seen a lot of off-season races come in, US Open, Paris, the Nations. Everybody's always in and out if they're really into it or not. Monster Cup, you name it. They put money in it. That always helps. But I think still everyone needed to see it happen and say, are they going to try? Do they want to win? Do they care? This is proof they care.
They care a lot. I mean, the emotions poured out of Haiden Deegan as soon as he won the championship. He was crying. And, I mean, Joe Shimoda even punted him out of the way in the first moto. Obviously, it meant a lot to him, too.
We've never seen Joe do that.
No, he's not a dirty guy. Joe Shimoda tries to pass people clean all the time, except when this is on the line. There's a lot of money on the line. So, yes, it meant a lot to these guys, and you can still hear it.
Oh, yeah. And Lars was crying that Honda now is winning every 450 thing you could throw in front of them. You want to talk about trying Ken Roczen. This is about as good as we've seen Ken Roczen in a long, long time.
Yeah, that second moto, he was fired up from the get-go. I mean, he went from about 7th or 8th almost, I think, to 3rd right away. Yeah. He didn't want to let Jett and then Chase and those guys get away. He kind of fizzled a bit in the middle of the moto, but it seemed like after Chase crashed, it's when it ignited it again, yes. and he was definitely going for it. I mean, those guys put 30 seconds on Cooper Webb in that moto. They were so fast, pushing the limit, going as fast as they could. And Kenny even said in the press conference, like, it's that level, that like extra intensity that kept them so close for so long. There wasn't anything in it. You know, it was a small slide here, a little bit there. And, I mean, man, they absolutely sent it, but Jett still got it done.
He did. I mean, look. One thing that was underreported coming into this race is that Jett Lawrence has not raced 450 Supercross. They had to be worried. Chase Sexton has 3 years of data on a Honda 450, and he's the Supercross champ. They had to learn Supercross on that bike on the fly. Man, was he good.
He was really good, and he said in the press conference as well that this was a good test for him to know what he needs to learn for next year, right? And talk about a test, walks away with $1 million. It's hardly considered a test. But yes, he did look a little bit off even on Friday. I felt like the bike setup maybe wasn't all there. Learned a lot throughout the day, got better throughout the day, and I feel like maybe was his best in that last race. So he definitely did it when he needed to do it. That's what this is all about, right? Shining through when you need to get it done. But yeah, I mean, Chase crashing out. I don't think Jett was going to go get him. He didn't need to go get him necessarily, but Jett looked really, really good in that last main event.
He did. It's scary. It's scary how good he is. Again, when you think about it, he's actually just getting started with 450 Supercross, and we already saw what he can do outdoors. All right, it's really loud. We're going to switch to the Twisted Tea truck and try to get some audio in between.
Yeah, I felt really good, both motos, and I didn't get off to a greatest start. I spun really bad after the gate, and I should have shifted earlier, but didn't have the greatest start, but weaseled my way through and had to make some passes happen. And then obviously Chase was out front, and I was just trying to not let Chase get too far away, and I'm super gutted he made that mistake. I hope he's all right. But after that, it was pretty much just me and Jett the whole time, and I was right on him and giving everything I had. I mean, we were literally pushing every inch of the track, you know, and he had some tacky areas, but it was super pepply and slick and others, so you just have to be so careful, but you can't like rest too much in the turns, right? Because you lose time. So it's just this very, very fine line. But I gave it everything I had, and I think the biggest bummer for me was I know Josh didn't mean to, but I was hitting the left side of the sand the entire time, and we came to lap him, and he slowed up, and I went to the same line just because I thought he was going to let me by, but he went in right in front of me, so I ended up rolling the whole section, and that just put a few seconds between me and Jett. And we had about 2.5 laps to go, so then in the last 2 laps, I just tried to put the hammer down again. I didn't want to just let him have it like that, you know, and, you know, reeled him back in, but obviously we ran out of time. But overall, I'm super stoked just to be able to be in the mix, be in the battle, and ride how I'm riding at the moment.
Yeah, I like to say it on the podium. They fixed a lot of the turns, so basically it was a new track again. And yeah, I'm better at when the track is rougher, I would say. Something that I have to work on for next year when the track is clean. I guess kind of have to be a little bit sandier, you know. Yeah, so that's what I was missing. And start position was really important for second moto, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was a much better night tonight. You know, we were in the mix all day, which was nice. But, yeah, kind of in no man's land there in third that race once Chase went down. But overall, you know, we made progress each time and definitely know what we need to work on. So it was nice to end it with a podium, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been a struggle since Unadilla, really, or honestly even before that. You know, Charlotte was a disaster. Got better last weekend, and then, you know, same this weekend. I made progress. I'll continue to get better now, just healing. Bodies, I'm not young like Haiden anymore. You know, my body doesn't heal as fast as his. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just going into this offseason, this was huge. You know, first moto was sick. Second moto just didn't really have it. But, you know, start to end of the year like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's you try to come in with the same mental as last weekend, and it's just hard. With the build-up we've been getting for this race and social media, just building it up with the triple points, it just puts such a heavier pressure on you. And that second moto, it's the track. It's at its worst. We're pushing the limit. It's like very hard to go any faster because everyone's doing it. After I did the quad and kind of showed basically all my cards as well as my only one. Everyone started doing that, so it was just like, okay, you just got to be faster everywhere else around the track, get in and out of your turns as fast as you can, and it was difficult just because the traction wasn't all there. But yeah, no, it's just a awesome weekend, and just waking up this morning, just trying to focus is very hard just with the pressure being there, but thankfully we're able to come out on top.
Good Lord, I know, I was going to say, you cannot blow up a YZ250F. What I was going to say is the whole test here was, would these races matter? Would people try? Would they care? I think we saw people do care. People do want this bad.
Yes, this series really played out to be the most exciting ending. The way they did the points, it all came down to like a really winner-take-all, and it was nerve-wracking in the hauler. Everyone's adding points, adding everything up. Like, what do we need to do? We just knew we had to finish in front of Shimoda. And that's all, like, that's what you had to do. But still had to get in the top three because Smitty could have won it. It was very weird, but they did a good job making this a very climatic finish. This thing, where was this bike at Unadilla?
Yeah, exactly. You could be an outdoor champ. But I'm glad that you guys tried. You could have mailed it in. You could have said, what is this? We don't even know what it is. We'll see you next year. Everybody, Shimoda was going for it. Smitty was going for it. You guys all put your heart into this. Cool. All right, go celebrate.
Haiden wanted to win really bad, and that first moto, his arm pumped up.
Okay.
I think he got nervous. There was a lot of pressure. And then second moto, I went in the hauler. I said, okay, dude, it's not over. Don't give up. It's not over. And I said, let's mess with your bike, do some bike changes, and we'll go out and give it everything you got, dude. Everything you got. And then they took off. Yamaha, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, I was like, within 20 minutes of my heart, like.
That's what I mean. It meant something. You guys were nervous.
Oh, dude. I had to take deep breaths. I'm like, bro, I haven't been this nervous in a long time. And it's good. It means we're alive. It's exciting. That's why we do it, right?
That's good.
If I didn't get that excited, I wouldn't be here. You know? So, like, this is cool. What we do it for.
Awesome. Congratulations on that.
Money's cool, but the emotions are cooler.
So it wasn't about the 500 grand. You just want to win.
Honestly, at the end of the day, and I get it, you know, you can say it any way you want. The money's great, but it's about the emotion. It's about the winning. It's about the trophy. And all of us sharing that together. And in the end, the money's nice, right?
Yes.
It's a lot of work. It a danger. It's a gnarly sport, so it's good they're getting paid that.
You can never put an ROI on the money you earn from racing.
No.
It doesn't pencil out.
It'll never be enough in a racer's mind for what they have to go through.
Exactly.
You do not understand the amount of training these guys do. You do not understand, and the risk they take. Every 3 days a week at the practice track, the risk they take. You know how many, like at the last race of the outdoor season, we almost crashed on that quad, and it could have been really bad.
Yeah.
That happens multiple times a week.
Yeah.
That's gnarly. Like,
Yes.
you don't understand the risks these guys take.
Right.
It's very high. So I hope these guys keep getting, paid good. But that's why we do everything we do, because we want to maximize his time in the sport. We want to get everything we can out of this, everything. Right? You don't want to waste anything of it. So that's why we do what we do. So.
We're glad you're around. This is going to be a fun future. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yep. All right, they're going nuts down here.
We got Josh Hill over here.
We got Josh Hill over here. Is he going to do a burnout? He going to do a burnout? Why is Josh Hill doing a burnout? Oh, my gosh. What, do they have gas in that thing? They run out of gas. I don't even understand. I don't understand what's happened. I mean, my ears are blown out. The bike was well built, well put together.
My ears are blown out.
Bro, by the way, I tried to interview you between motos. You were not having it. You went from the lowest low to the highest high in about an hour. It's crazy.
I was like, if he wants an interview, I got to hit the championship.
Sorry, you did cut me loose. It's fine.
I was like, bro, if I'm winning this championship, we're getting a good interview.
Okay, yes, exactly.
We're getting the
But
interview.
can you describe where you were after that moto and then where you were after the second moto? It's unbelievable.
Dude, the first moto, I was like, shoot, I gotta work the second one, and we got it done. We won the championship, and shoot, it's a dream come true, and we just, held that bike wide open for about 10 minutes and wouldn't blow up.
I know. Yeah, you needed that bike at another race earlier in the year.
I know, exactly.
Yes. All right, congratulations. This has been wild. We're going to go back to our HQ over there at Twisted Tea, but let's talk that with the triple points, this is where we all messed up, and we'll learn as this thing goes on. Jordan Smith, from nowhere, had a shot at the championship. Now, he went down in the first turn of the second moto, but it really shows how wild card this last race is going to be through the years.
And Hampshire, too. Hampshire also had a shot at it after having a terrible first round at Charlotte. He said he just hated everything about that first round. And, yeah, we came into that final round, especially with the way that Deegan and Shimoda maybe were not on their A game in that first moto so much. Yeah. You're like, man, you just get, Levi Kitchen had a great moto. He gets in there. Yeah. Max Volan, maybe he gets a starter, someone else like that. And you just get 2 or 3 more guys in there, and suddenly they're walking out of the championship, and we didn't even talk about them coming in. They weren't in the press conference yesterday, suddenly Jordan Smith is the title. I mean, it was literally that level going in the last race. It's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah. And then also beyond this, Jett Lawrence, Haiden Deegan, all these guys making a bunch of money. A lot of privateers did as well. So we'll go back over to the Twisted Tea and see a man who's $50,000 richer. So I said we got a man who's $50,000 richer. That's the other cool part about this. Colt Nichols made 90 grand. Ty Masterpool made 75. Phil Nicoletti, there was huge gaps all the way through, and then the money starts to tighten. So the last position that has a big gap in money was between you and Phil, and you edged Phil, Freddie Noren.
Oh, I knew it. He was right there, too. I'm like, it's going to come down to this last moto, and I know Phil is cussing in his helmet right now. Oh, yeah. He wants to get me because there's a lot of money, but no, it was fun. I love Phil. He's awesome, so it's always fun to race with him.
So you made 50 and he got 35?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I like is talk to you at Pala, round 1 of outdoors. You got on with the Twisted Tea Suzuki team, and you said, oh, I'm thinking playoffs. I'm thinking SMX. Like, you've been thinking and planning this the whole year long.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like as a rider like me, like, it would be hard not to look at this. It's a big financial gain for me, and obviously, like, I'm not like the top guy that makes a ton of money, so like this goes a long ways for me. So of course, and then I want to perform as well, and it's something new to the series it's in a good thing, so I want to be part of it. So yeah, I've definitely been looking forward to it, and I've had a good team support me through the year. So yeah, I'm pumped.
Question off that, though. I don't know if you know this. You're the only guy that made it to all 31. So how are we feeling at the end of 31 of these things, man?
Yeah, Steve Mathis came over earlier and told me that. So I was like, dang, I'm the only guy? He's like, yeah, you're the only guy. He's like, sure, you missed a couple of mains there in Supercross, but you're the only one who made 31 races. So I'm like, dang, that's pretty good. And I mean, one piece technically, so I'm pretty good. I am actually going to go clean up my wrist a little bit and elbow on Monday, get a little, treat my body to feel a little bit better. So I'll be off the bike for a couple of weeks, but other than that, we'll get back to it.
You're not blown out, though. You're not, like, exhausted.
I mean, I'm tired. I'm ready to chill. I mean,
Okay, all right.
I'll be lying if I said I wasn't ready to chill a little bit, to put it that way. So, yeah. It's been a long year. But it's been a good year, so I'm pumped.
Gonna invest in the Airbnb now? Maybe buy another.
Yeah, I'd love to buy another. I would have probably need to go for the $1 million. I will say that.
You did tell me you had a plan. You had a plan for the $1 million.
Technically, I think I could have gone for the $1 million. I would have just had to make sure that those guys up there did not finish, pretty much.
Yeah.
And got last. And I had to win. And obviously, that would be very slim chances. But there's always a chance, you know.
Would have been the greatest takeout mankind has ever seen.
I probably would have been hated and never be able to ride in this industry again. But hey, I would have been $1 million richer.
How many Airbnbs can you get for that? All right, Freddie, thanks for actually paying attention and trying. That's what has made this cool. We'll see you next year. That's Freddie Noren. Yes, it's been fun having him on our show all summer and into the playoffs. So that's what we learned. The guys actually tried. They actually cared. I want to ask you, Kellen, you're a Southern California guy. This is maybe the most historic stadium in America. I think it's safe to say that. They're going to have a third Olympics here, 2028, I think. Yeah. It's 100 years old, which in America on the West Coast is like ridiculous level of history. I think that part factored more than I thought. I thought these riders were too young to realize, but I think people felt that vibe of going up the peristyle.
Yeah, I mean, even Kenny mentioned it yesterday. He said it again in a little press conference that, like, he did try to look around and take it all in, right? There's so much history in this building. Deegan, there's so much history with the Deegans in this building. That's been reiterated several times. So, yeah, I think it added a little bit of an extra, just a little bit extra, like, emotion to it, right? Like, we talked about them crying and Lars crying and all that stuff like that. But to come back to the birthplace of Supercross and have the Super Motocross World Championship end in this fashion here in this stadium, I don't think it could have been better. This is the perfect place for it, right?
That's the way they drew it up. I was here, part of the press conference with the long-lost Daniel Blair last October. We said it was going to be like this, but everybody needed to see it to actually understand what it was going to be and if it was going to be good. I don't think you could argue against it now. I mean, we saw privateers. We saw Colt Nichols borrowing bikes, buying bikes to get here and make 90 grand. These are things we've never seen before.
Never. And, I mean, even tonight I feel like we saw things that we just don't often see, you know, just mistakes and crashes and punts and first turn pileups that were kind of weird first turn pileups too, like far outside. Dylan Ferrandis gets collected with Harlan and like you're like where'd that come from? And then Vial and Schwartz go over the berm and then Jordan Smith gets punted off the track by Schwartz and Vial. There's just so many other angles that you didn't expect to factor into tonight because we thought it was going to be these three guys going for a title, and then it ended up being a lot more other guys in there than we expected for sure.
I'll wrap it up with this. I know motocross people absolutely hate when we compare the sport to NASCAR, and I'm going to do that right now. They introduced a chase format about 20 years ago, and then they went to a full playoff elimination format in 2014. And what everybody said is, it doesn't matter what you do with the rules. We're all trying as hard as we can every week anyway. We can't try any harder. And then what they learned is, no, they found they could try harder. And I think all the weirdness that we saw was that. We saw Joe Shimoda punting people. The emotion I saw from Haiden Deegan after that first moto, I mean, he was so disappointed. How hard Roxon tried, how emotional Lawrence and the Honda people were. We didn't think they could try harder. When you put that much money and winner take all on the line, that's what you get. It's been good. Thanks, Twisted Tea, for backing all of our shows. You and Tom will be at Donations? You'll be at Donations?
We'll be there. We'll be bringing the coverage overseas.
Yep. There's more to come. Maybe even more wins for the Lawrence brothers. We'll find out in a couple of weeks. Thanks for watching.